The night I will never forget. A Saturday evening. At dinner. The kind of evening that should have been peaceful. But in my family, peace never stayed long. My older brother, Toby, had invited everyone out to celebrate his new, big promotion. He booked a fancy restaurant, the type with classical music and waiters wearing white gloves. I already knew something was coming. Whenever Toby celebrated anything, he used it as an opportunity to humiliate me. My name is Daniel. I'm 26. Quiet. Reserved. And according to my brother, a nobody with a foolish job. Tonight, he was about to embarrass me again. But he didn't know I wasn't the same Daniel he used to bully. He didn't know I'd changed careers. He didn't know my life had changed. He didn't know I was hiding a secret bigger than his whole ego. And he definitely didn't know that one little employee ID card was going to destroy the pride he had built his whole life on. But I let him talk. Oh, I let him. Because revenge tastes better when the person cooks it for themselves. How the mockery started. The waiter poured wine. Everyone toasted to Toby. My father smiled proudly. My mother dabbed her eyes with tissue. My younger sister, Laura, clapped like she was at a concert. Toby stood up dramatically. Thank you, everyone. I'm now the senior branch manager at Riverbank Holdings. Everyone applauded. Then he sat down and like clockwork turned to me. So, Danny boy, what about you? Still working your small cleaner job? I clenched my teeth. He said it loud enough for the table behind us to hear. Classic Toby. I forced a smile. It's maintenance, not, comma. He cut me off. Maintenance? Cleaner. Molly. Janitor. Let's call it what it is. Everyone except my father laughed. My dad cleared his throat. Toby, stop that. It's honest work. Toby rolled his eyes. Honest work? Daddy. He raised his voice. Danny here is 26 and still mopping floors. I can't even introduce him as my brother. My mother giggled softly. She always enabled him. I looked at her. You're laughing? She shrugged. Your brother is only joking. But he wasn't. He was never joking. Why he hated me. Toby and I grew up in the same house but lived two different lives. He was the golden child. The loud one. The extrovert. The one always high on attention. I was quiet. Introverted. Book smart. Never liked crowds. My mother adored him. He could do no wrong. When he failed exams, she blamed the teachers. When I got the highest score in my class, she barely said, good. Toby always saw me as competition. And when I didn't fight back, he took that as weakness. In our teenage years, he started mocking me openly. Daniel is slow. Daniel is boring. Daniel will end up as a cleaner. Well, he wasn't entirely wrong. After university, things were rough. I couldn't find a job in my field. So I worked as a janitor in a corporate building. Not my dream, but it helped pay bills. Toby never let me forget it. Every family dinner insults. Every Christmas gathering, mockery. Every birthday, sarcasm. But what he didn't know was, I wasn't a janitor anymore. And the place I worked in now, he would kill to even step foot inside. Back to dinner, the humiliation continues. Danny boy, Toby loudly continued, tell everyone how many toilets you cleaned this week. My sister laughed so hard she choked. My mother said, leave him now. Let him eat. But the smirk on her face told me she enjoyed it. My father stared at me with sad eyes. He hated conflict. He had begged me not to react. So I didn't. I took a sip of water and kept my cool. Then Toby smirked and said, if you want, I can get you a job as the cleaner in my bank. Instead of working in that useless place you're in now. Useless place? He had no idea. I leaned back calmly. Thanks, but I'm fine. Toby scoffed. Fine? You're broke. No car. No apartment. No girlfriend. Tell me how you're fine. The whole table went silent. Everyone looked at me. Waiting. Expecting me to break. I smiled. Because I knew something they didn't. Something that was about to flip Toby's whole world upside down. The waiter arrived with the food. As I reached into my pocket to take a call, my wallet slipped. And along with it, my employee ID card fell onto the floor. I didn't even notice. But Toby did. He picked it up to hand it back to me, and froze. His face changed. His jaw dropped. His pupils widened. He blinked several times like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. My mother noticed. "Toby, what's that?" He didn't answer. He just kept staring at the card. Then slowly he read out loud, "Daniel, Cytec Security, Senior Cyber Operations Analyst." The whole table went silent. Laura whispered, "Senior." "What?" I gently took the ID from his hand. "You dropped this," he said quietly. But I wasn't done. I flipped the ID for everyone to see. Cytec Security International. Global Headquarters. The same company Riverbank Holdings. His bank was terrified of. The same company that recently audited them. The same company that almost shut down his branch for fraud suspicions. My family looked confused. Except Toby. He knew exactly what that ID meant. Tension rises. My mother frowned. "Daniel, what is this? Is this real?" I finally spoke. "I don't work as a janitor anymore. I work in cyber operations. Digital forensics. Fraud detection." Toby swallowed hard. "But, since when?" 2 years, I said calmly. 2 whole years. My sister almost fell out of her chair. "Wait, you work in the same company that monitors financial fraud?" "Yes." Everyone turned to Toby. Because they remembered something. Just 3 months ago, Riverbank Holdings, Toby's workplace, was placed under internal investigation for missing funds. And guess who was assigned to the case? My father finally spoke. "Daniel, did you investigate your brother's bank?" Toby looked like he was about to faint. I smiled gently. "Oh yes, Dad. I was one of the analysts on the case." The secret Toby didn't know. Toby's hands shook. You didn't tell me." "You never asked," I replied. My mother gasped. "Toby, does this mean you?" He cut her off quickly, sweating. "No, I didn't do anything. I swear." But I hadn't said anything. He was the one panicking. I leaned forward. "Toby, what did you do?" His lips trembled. "Nothing. I never." "Daniel, please." He was falling apart. My father looked terrified. "Toby, what exactly were you afraid Daniel would find?" Everything cracked open. The truth spills out. Toby finally broke. "Okay, I did it. I moved company funds into my personal account. But I was going to return it. I only borrowed it." Everyone gasped. My mother screamed, "Toby!" My father slumped back in shock. Toby turned to me, tears forming. "But you knew, didn't you? You knew all along." I nodded slowly. "Yes, Toby. I knew." He fell to his knees. "Daniel, please don't report me. I'll lose everything, my job, my house, my life." Everyone stared at me, waiting to see what I would do. The quiet brother. The mocked one. The janitor. I finally had power over him. And he knew it. The revenge decision. I stood up slowly. Walked around the table. Stopped right in front of him. He looked up at me, shaking. "Daniel, please?" I whispered. "You mocked me for years. Belittled me. Treated me like dirt. And now you expect mercy?" Toby cried. My mother cried. My father held his head. Then I leaned down and said, "You're lucky, Toby." He looked confused. "Lucky?" I nodded yes. "Because unlike you, I'm not a monster." I handed him a small envelope. He opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a printed document. Resignation agreement. Effective immediately. "Submit this on Monday," I said quietly. "Or I forward your full file to the Central Compliance Board." He cried harder. But I'll lose everything." "Maybe now you'll understand what humiliation feels like." Toby resigned quietly. His bank accepted it without noise. His fraud case disappeared from the radar. His pride was gone. His arrogance burned to ashes. For months, he couldn't look me in the eyes. He took a small job in customer service to survive. My mother finally learned humility. She apologized for enabling him. She treated me better. My father thanked me for not destroying Toby completely. But Toby? He learned the biggest lesson of his life. Never underestimate the quiet one. Never mock someone whose story you don't truly know. And never, ever, mistake silence for weakness.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss anything.